Welcome to Your Tech Life, I'm Trevor Long. If I said I was driving a car that had adaptive speed control using radar, could park itself, had speed limitation and all these different features, you'd think I was driving a $100,000 car. But no, I'm driving a Ford Focus Titanium, $32,500. Let's take a look. The car I'm driving, as I said, $32,500. It's a brand new Ford Focus Titanium. This one's a 2-litre turbo diesel, has the diesel sound to it, has the diesel pickup too, a bit slow off the pickup, but good torque once you get going. Gearbox isn't fantastic, and look, the brakes are a bit touchy when you're doing incremental reversing, like backing up to wall and things like that. You might notice them, but aside from that, this is a great quality car. Has a very European feel and styling to it. Certainly solid on the road and a good, strong, heavy steering, which is what you expect from a good European car. But it's not really the car that I'm here to look at. It's the technology inside. Now, there's something like 22 buttons on this steering wheel here, controlling different screens. This set of buttons controls this screen, this set of buttons controls that screen, and then you've got cruise control, adaptive speed limitation, your stereo and phone controls, and your voice recognition. There's a lot just on the steering wheel, as well as your normal windscreen wipers and lights. But then on the centre console, there's something like 50 more buttons. There's a lot to take in this car. But that's not unusual for the centre console to have that kind of setup. Essentially, there's a button for everything here, and it does make me wonder whether the voice control, and I'll show you that right now. Temperature.
Temperature, please.
22.
Temperature, 22.
It works, but you could just twist this little dial down here and get the temperature to 22. Same with the radio. Radio.
Radio.
AM.
AM, frequency please.
954.
Tune 984.
It's not that great on the radio frequencies. A lot of frequencies referred to as 954. You do have to use the hundreds. I have got it working, but again, it's a lot easier just to use your presets for the voice control. That aside, so the voice control's there, but it's really not a feature that sells the car to me. The couple of features that sell this car to me, and there's 3 of them essentially. Speed limit. A lot of cars today, including the Commodores and the like, have the ability to set a limit to which you want your speed to go, but it just beeps when it gets to that limit. So in this car, I can set the speed limit, for example, to 60 kilometres an hour. And what it will actually do is restrict me to 60 kilometres an hour. If I need to go past that, I can accelerate, put my foot right down, and it will go past that 60. But in a normal drive, and especially in traffic, very good to use, where I can basically concentrate on the road, concentrate on what's ahead, concentrate on my braking, but I can accelerate and know that I'm not going to exceed the 60 kilometre speed limit in this area. It's actually a really simple feature that has proven very valuable to me for the last week. I think it's made me a little bit more relaxed on the road and given me more time to concentrate on what's around me as opposed to what's happening on my dashboard. The next tech feature I think is important and amazing about this car at $32,000 is adaptive cruise control. Now, normally with cruise control, you're driving along at a certain speed, you turn cruise control on, and then you set your speed. And you say, this is the speed I want to go, and the car goes at that speed no matter what. With adaptive cruise control, you're driving along, you turn the cruise control on, and you say, this is the speed I want to go. And it measures, using radar, the distance to the car in front, and if that car brakes, your car slows down. It's amazing, and it's clearly made for highway driving. I have tested it in a little bit more congested conditions, and it works. It will, if a car stops for a red light, it will stop you. Dangerous, shouldn't be used in those conditions, but fantastic for freeway driving when you've just got people who are slowing up a bit or accelerating up. And if they slow down, let's say you set it at 110, they slow down to 90, and then they push off again, it will pick up again to take you to that speed. Adaptive cruise control. It works, and I can't believe it's available in a car worth only $32,000. And the last big feature in this car, there's lots of features, but the last big, one of the 3, is the self-parking. Now, you would have seen this on shows today, today's style of Beyond 2000, self-parking car. Now, this thing doesn't do it itself. It requires your input, which is great, because frankly, I wouldn't want to leave a car to park itself. But here's how it works. You're driving along, and at this point I go, I think I might want to park. So I press the automatic park button. I slow down to a parking style speed, and it uses sensors on the side of the car to measure the gaps. And then it'll find a car and it'll say, found a spot, and it'll tell you to push up a bit further, and then it'll tell you engage reverse, and you control the accelerator and the brake. The car controls the steering. Let's take a look. Alright, so I'm engaging the park assist. It says it's searching for a parking spot, and it's found a parking spot. It's told me to engage reverse, check my surroundings, and drive backwards. Now, I'm not touching the steering wheel, I'm just looking at the accelerator, so I can accelerate and brake at my pace. So I accelerate, tap the brakes a little bit, accelerate, tap the brakes a little bit. It does the steering, straightens up the wheels, and it's finished. Unbelievable. Another feature of the car is, but it's common these days to a lot of cars, is the keyless entry. The key, in fact, is in my bag, and you walk away from the car, it's locked. Things like the mirrors on the side automatically retract inwards, which you can manually do if you're going through a tight space, which happens in Europe, or it does that when it's locked at night. Little things like that are great. The boot space, though, not very big. I've got to say, it's probably deceptive, but I think my Mazda 2 has a bigger boot than this Ford Focus. It's quite a high floor level in the boot, so you really don't get a sense of much depth in the boot. It's a reasonable size. You'd fit a couple of suitcases and you'd certainly fit your groceries, but I'm not sure it's a comparable size boot to a thing like a Corolla or something like that. As I say, off the line, this car, a little bit sluggish. You put your foot down and then you've got that normal diesel lag and then pickup. But the torque, once you get the pickup, is fantastic. There's plenty of power there when you need it. It has the ability to use manual style sequential shift. It's just a button on the side of the gear shift. It's just really awkward and not really the sort of place you would ever change gears. But it is quite a good exchange of gears. Happens at a good rate. But to disengage that manual, you've got to push and hold a gear. It's a bit weird, not the kind of thing I think you'd use in this car. Fuel economy is fantastic. I've been city driving, to and from work this week, and I'm getting 7.7. This is a diesel, 7.7 litres per 100, which is pretty darn good, I've got to say, and the full range on the tank is probably, 700 odd Ks. As I said earlier, you're controlling, there's two kind of computers on it. There's your entertainment computer and then your trip computer. The entertainment computer you control using the left-hand set of controls on the steering wheel, and that allows you to go left and right into your menus, controlling your CD player, your AM and FM radio, those kind of things, which you can also do from the voice control. Of course, I can switch to a CD very easily. CD player.
CD player.
Play. Track.
Track number, please.
12.
Track 12.
So there is that control, and that's not bad. I don't mind that, but I do think that sometimes it's a little easy just to reach over, as I said, and touch the buttons. So that's the entertainment computer. Then you've got your trip computer, which has several screens to it. You've got a kind of at a glance. You've got your kilometres per hour average, your average fuel consumption, your current fuel consumption, and your distance to go. And then there's a page per other feature. So the trip odometer, distance to empty. So you've got one thing per screen, which is a little bit more obvious if you want to do it that way. Average fuel, they're all there. And then there's, when you scroll back to the left and come down, you've got a trip computer, you've got settings and a system check. And your settings are all your things like, automatic light dimming, turning off the lights automatically, all those kind of things. Essentially, that is the extent of the on-screen displays. These are both nice little screens that have quite vibrant, very easy to see. And sometimes there's also a gap warning. I'll go into the settings and tell you what it is. It's a very handy feature that basically, if a car in front of you brakes heavily, and this is not when you're in cruise control, just basically it's in the driver assist function here, you have a forward alert, and you can have that on basically off, or low sensitivity, or normal sensitivity, or high sensitivity. I've got it on high sensitivity, and if I'm still accelerating and not touching the brake, and the car in front of me is getting ever closer, the whole screen will go red, and it really does take your notice. No, I don't think it's going to help you avoid an accident. If an accident's coming, an accident's coming. Look, overall, I've got to say this is a great little car. I think for the price, $32,500, you are getting a good, solid driving vehicle. It looks nice. It has wonderful technology features. And to be honest, if you want to see it happen, jump into a dealer and take it for a test drive, because you really do have to see the parking and all those things happen to believe it. but trust me, it's easy, it works first go, and it's quite a comfortable drive. The Ford Focus Titanium.